Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 142, The Wheat and the Tares. The podcast objectives are reveal the greatest threats to world peace, analyze how the Father will prepare the earth for the millennial kingdom, analyze the parable of the darnel of the field, and lay the foundation for a future analysis of the rapture theory. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. To take peace from the earth. Now, we concluded the most recent podcast analyzing the difference between the new earth and the renewed earth. The former will not be unveiled until the eternal future, while the latter is just around the corner and a primary purpose of these last days. We discussed this purpose in the most recent podcast, and we came to see the Father's desire to prepare the earth for the reign of his only brought forth Son. And although these preparations began with a renewal of the physical earth, they do not end there. The question of the hour is, what else does the Father desire to do to prepare the earth for the millennial kingdom? The answer, he desires to eliminate those who would oppose the reign of his dear Son. This leads us to a follow-up question. How will he determine those who would oppose the reign of his dear Son? The answer, because they are opposing his reign even now by resisting his example of perfection and refusing to walk in obedient faith to the Father's will. This shouldn't be too hard to understand. Just consider the nature of the millennial kingdom, vis-a-vis 1,000 years of peace on earth and mankind living for hundreds of years. Then consider the primary deterrent to the Father achieving that reality. That would be men and women who persistently transgress the will of their Creator. They are the problem. They are the roadblock to this reality. See, it doesn't take a world of dictators, warmongers, and military coups to take peace from the earth. My dear friends, all it takes is two people who are outside of the Father's will, and conflict is not only brewing, it is about to break forth. The violent force of death. Now, for this cause, the Father will not only renew the earth, he will also empty it. Specifically, he will remove sinners and all those who have made themselves stumbling blocks by force to ensure the success and longevity of the millennial kingdom. Isaiah 24, 1-6. See, Yahuwah is making the earth empty and making it waste, and shall overturn its surface, and shall scatter abroad its inhabitants. The earth is completely emptied and utterly plundered, for the earth has been defiled under its inhabitants, because they have transgressed the Torah, changed the law, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore, a curse shall consume the earth, and those who dwell in it be punished. Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth shall be burned, and few men shall be left. Isaiah 13, 9 through 13. See, the day of Yahuwah is coming, fierce with wrath and heat of displeasure, to lay the earth waste and destroy its sinners from it. And I shall punish the world for its evil, and the wrong for their crookedness, and shall put an end to the arrogance of the proud, and lay low the pride of the ruthless. I shall make mortal man scarcer than fine gold, and mankind scarcer than the gold of Ophir, in the wrath of Yahuwah of hosts, and in the day of the heat of his displeasure. Now, there are no doubt many key takeaways from these passages. And as they are two of the most prominent passages concerning these last days, we will revisit them throughout this series. For now, you must appreciate the severity of the actions the Father is preparing to take to ensure there will be peace and goodwill on earth during the reign of his dear Son. In summary, consider this. Elohim is not playing with this world and its inhabitants. Quite the contrary. He is marking billions of men, women, and children for destruction, even now. And when his displeasure sets in, he will lay them waste in the fierce burning of his wrath. My dear friends, this is not my word. This is the word of Elohim, relayed to us by Isaiah, the prophet, and many others, some whose works are not recorded in the text. Yet they are real, and they paint an accurate picture of these last days and the Father's desire to remove all who are outside of his will from the earth by the violent force of death. The parable of the darnel of the field. Now, the words spoken by Isaiah are confirmed by our loving master. Specifically, he confirms these matters and all end times matters with parables, all of which were designed to educate his disciples and open their eyes to the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. On this wise, you must appreciate how the mysteries of the kingdom are concealed within these parables. And by the Spirit, we are able to understand the full meaning of the message our master is conveying, for it is given unto us to know these mysteries. We are not an ignorant people. Now, as it pertains to these last days, there is indeed a most prominent parable we must consider, and by the Spirit we shall. That is, the parable of the darnel of the field, more commonly known as the wheat and the tares. Matthew 13, 24 through 30. The reign of the heavens has become like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed darnel, i.e., tares, among the wheat and went away. Now, by definition, darnel, i.e., tare, is a poisonous weed that resembles wheat in appearance, yet in a big enough dose, it can kill. Therefore, farmers take great care in preventing darnel from growing in their fields. Now, when the blade sprouted and bore fruit, then the darnel also appeared. And the servants of the master of the house came and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? From where then does it have the darnel? And he said to them, A man, an enemy did this. And the servant said to him, Do you wish then that we go and gather them up? But he said, No, lest while you gather up the darnel, you also uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And at the time of the harvest, I shall say to the reapers, First gather the darnel and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my granary. Now that we have received the parable of the darnel of the field, we must receive the interpretation. Matthew 13, 36 to 43. Then, having sent the crowds away, Yahushua went into the house, and his taught ones came to him, saying, Explain to us the parable of the darnel of the field. And he answering said to them, He who is sowing the good seed is the son of Adam, and the field is the world. And the good seed, these are the sons of the rain, but the darnel are the sons of the wicked one. And the enemy who sowed them is the devil. And the harvest is the end of the age, and the reapers are the messengers. As the darnel then is gathered and burned in the fire, so it shall be at the end of this age. The son of Adam shall send out his messengers, and they shall gather out of his reign all the stumbling blocks and those doing lawlessness, and shall throw them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous shall shine forth as the sun in the reign of their Father. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. The truth you need to know. Now, it goes without saying that there is a great deal of truth we must unpack and unveil from this interpretation of, again, one of the most prominent parables concerning these last days. And we will, beginning with the following podcast. But first, I would like to set the stage for that lesson by providing a striking contrast between this parable and one of the most popular doctrines concerning these last days. Enter the rapture theory. The parable of the darnel of the field is diametrically opposed to the rapture theory. Therefore, they cannot both be true. It goes without saying that we should always lean upon the word of truth, specifically the word spoken by our loving master. Yet we must not stop there. We must take the next step and, by the Spirit, reveal the error with the rapture theory. And since I once believed in this doctrine, I am well equipped to reveal to you why it is false and why the Father commanded me to throw it away, along with various other false teachings I inherited as a youth. Trust me, I have the scriptures. I'm bringing them with me. I take them everywhere I go. All you have to do is bring the Spirit and be prepared to listen with an open mind and an open heart. Trust me, I know from experience, it's not easy letting go of the truth you thought you knew. And yet, this is a must if you are to be saved in these last days, for you cannot hold on to the truth you thought you knew and receive the truth you need to know. Now, here is the final word. O Yahuwah, my master, we are ready for the harvest, and very soon you will be reaping. Here lies the inflection, for there are two sides to this equation. There is a side where those who are outside of the Father's will are violently removed from the earth, and there is a side where those who are spiritually qualified will be chosen to inherit the earth. The immediate question you should be asking yourself is, what side am I currently on? And you must appreciate how your answer is defined by how you believe these last days will end, with a rapture or with a harvest. Stay tuned, and by the Spirit, I will reveal the truth of this matter. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on the word you have heard today and ask the Father to reveal the truth to you. Remember, where there is no conviction, there can be no faith. And without faith, it is impossible to please Him. Next, if the Spirit is leading you and you have not signed up for our mailing list, you can go to www.transformationbytruth.com to sign up today. We'll alert you as soon as podcasts are posted, and we'll share our presentations, notes, and other materials at no cost. It is for your edification. And most importantly, you will be connected to me and those who have joined themselves to this ministry as we prophesy and align current events with the prophetic word. These discussions are taking place outside of this podcast ministry. Therefore, if the Spirit is leading you, and only if the Spirit is leading you, I encourage you to come and see. You will be in good spiritual company. Lastly, if you have any questions, please submit them via our contact form on our website. If you have any comments, please share those on the video page for this podcast, also on our website. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 142, The Wheat and the Tares. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 144, Rapture v. Harvest, Part 1. I will post this podcast on Friday, May 5th, 2023. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch. Continue to pray. Continue in fasting. And most of all, continue to be focused. For the end is coming. The end is near.